Hi, let's go ahead and solve some equations that have variables on both sides. Okay, in order to solve this first equation, we first need to find where our variables are located. I see that I have a 2x on the left side and a 3x on the right side. Now, typically, we've only done equations so far where there's only variables on one side of the equation. So what you want to do first is you want to look for the side that has more stuff. So if you notice here, looking over on this side of the equation, I have two terms. I have a 2x plus 3, but over here on this side, I only have a 3x. So what that means is I want to deal with the left side first. And what I need to do is get rid of the term with the variables on that side. So my first step is going to be to subtract 2x from both sides. Now what that does is on the left, we end up with just a positive 3. And on the right side, we end up with 3x minus 2x, which is 1x. And there, our equation is solved. Go ahead and pause the video here and try number 2. It's very similar. And then play the video once you're done. Just look at the first example and follow the steps that I did to go ahead and try number 2. Okay, now let's go ahead and solve problem number 2. So first we have two sides of our equation again. We have terms with variables on both sides, and I'm looking for the side that has more stuff. In this case, the side with more stuff is the 5x minus 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to get rid of the term with the variable on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. So on the left, I end up with 2x. On the right side, I end up with negative 4. Then my last step is to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to negative 2. Okay, now let's try another type of equation. Let's go ahead and separate our two sides of the equation. And if you notice, we have a 5x on the left and a 3x on the right. Now, if I use kind of what I talked about before, I notice that I have two terms on the left and two terms on the right. So there's the same amount of stuff on both sides. So in this case, when you notice that there's the same amount of stuff on both sides, a good thing to look at is the terms that you circled, pick the smaller of the two and get rid of that term on that side first. So if I compare 5x and 3x, 3x is smaller. So I'm going to do minus 3x on both sides. The only reason that I choose the smaller of the two is because then you don't have to deal with negatives as much in the problem. If you don't really care to deal with negatives, then you can subtract either one and you'll get the same answer. Okay, so now when I subtract 3x, I end up with 2x plus 4 equals positive 2. Here's my term with the variable, so my next job is to get rid of the plus 4. So I'm going to do minus 4 on both sides. So 2x is equal to negative 2. And then my last step is I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. So x is equal to negative 1. Okay, now it's your turn. Go ahead and pause the video and try number 4, and then go ahead and play it to check your answer. Okay, number 4, here we go. We have on the left side 2x, and on the right side 3x. If I pick the smaller of the two, that means that I'm going to be doing the 2x and getting rid of that on the left side. So I have 3 equals 1x minus 2. And then solving for x, I add 2 to both sides. So 5 is equal to x. Good job. Now we're going to go ahead and try a couple equations that have decimals. So let's draw our river and locate all of the terms that have variables. I have a positive a on the left and a 2.5a on the right. Now, picking the smaller of the two, 1a is smaller than 2.5a, so I'm going to choose to subtract 1a from both sides first. That leaves me with 2 4/10 equals 1.5a minus 4.5. Now here's my term with the variable, so I'm going to add 4.5 to both sides. So that's going to give me 6.9 equals 1.5a. And the last step would be to divide by 1.5. This gives me an answer of a equals 4.6. Okay, now it's your turn. Go ahead and pause the video and then let's see how you did. Okay, problem number 6. Here we go. So draw your river. Find all of your terms that have variables in them. Pick the smaller of the two, that would be 0.2x, so I'm going to subtract. That leaves me with, on the left-hand side, 3.2 plus 0.1x equals 1.4. Now subtract 3.2 from both sides. And so we end up with 1/10 x equals negative 1.8. And then divide by 0.1. Which gives us negative 18. Nice job. Now let's go ahead and try writing an equation for a word problem. This says, under Plan A, an annual membership costs $30 plus $1.50 for each DVD rental. Under Plan B, the annual membership costs $12 plus $3 for each DVD rental. What number of DVD rentals results in the same yearly cost? So we have these two plans here, and we want to know when are they going to equal the same yearly cost. Under membership plan A, the cost is $30 plus $1.50 per DVD. Under plan B, the cost is $12 plus $3 for each DVD. We want to know after how many DVD rentals will we have the same cost. So here's our equation. We have plan A on the left, right here, and then plan B on the right. We want to know when are they equal. Go ahead and pause the video at this time and solve this equation, and then play it again to check your answer. Okay, let's check and see if you got it right. Here we have 3D and 1.5D. So first I'm going to take minus 1.50D. So that's going to give me 30 equals 12 plus 1.5D. Now subtract 12 from both sides. 18 equals 1.5D. Last step, divide by 1.5. And so the number of DVD rentals that we need in order for these two plans to balance out would be 12. So 12 DVDs. Okay, at this time, I'd like you to try this problem all by yourself. Pause the video, write an equation. Then if you want to play the video and check to make sure you got the equation correct before you solve it, that's fine, and then just pause it at that time. Okay, let's go ahead and see how you did. Redbird Cruises charges $85 per day, plus a one-time fee of $75. King Cruises charges $100 per day, plus a fee of $30. For what number of days do the cruise companies charge the same? So when will they be equal? Okay, let's go ahead and figure it out. Here are our two terms with the variables. Subtracting 85D from both sides first, I get 75 equals 15D plus 30. Subtract 30 from both sides. So 45 equals 15D. And then lastly, dividing by 15, D is equal to 3. What does the 3 represent? 3 represents the number of days. So we'd label it 3 days. Nice job.